and I'm going to turn it over to Brother Amin Kwesi Malik Ali, the Bitcoin information guy. And I told him that some people have already experienced what he's talking about. So, without any further ado, Brother Malik, thank you for coming. Please take it away.
Okay, thank you for having me. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about some ways to store Bitcoin. I think the last time I talked about Bitcoin, it was at $10,000 a coin, and now it's at $15,000 a coin.
My
So it
goodness.
has gone up, and anyone who purchased at the time when I first started talking about it, they made money. I gave a class prior to the prior class where it was at 9,000. So we've seen it go up from 9,000 to 10,000 to now 15,000. And as I said before, even though it goes down, it could go down because it was at, when I checked it earlier today, it was at 15,007 and now it's at 15,005. So it goes down a little bit. But and like I said, in my experience, it always goes up higher than it goes down. So I just wanted to talk about some ways to store Bitcoin. There's various different ways that you can store it. You can store it online. You can store it in a personal wallet that you have on your own machine. You can have it on you can have it solely on your phone, solely on your smartphone, or solely on your tablet, or solely on your computer. You can store it on a piece of paper by just storing the information on paper. So that would be considered a cold storage wallet. They have some wallets that look like flash drives. You can store it on that, which would be you're storing your wallet away from the internet, which gives you a little bit more security. Any of those other ways that I mentioned also give you a high level of security. The lowest level of security that you have is when you store your Bitcoin on someone else's machine. Like if you purchase your Bitcoin from an exchange and you leave it on that exchange, then your Bitcoin is subject to the condition of that exchange at any given time. There was one I saw one thing in the news, an article where people lost $190 million in Bitcoin because they had all their Bitcoin stored on an exchange, and the owner of the exchange passed away. And when he passed away, the password went with him, and that locked up $190 million worth of Bitcoin for all the people who had their money on that particular exchange. Um, Also, a few years before I started using Bitcoin, there was an incident where one of the exchanges got hacked into. It was called Mount Gox, I think, and people lost $490 million in Bitcoin on that particular exchange. So the safest way to store your Bitcoin once you purchase it, if you purchase it from an exchange, put it in a personal wallet on your own personal phone or on your tablet or on your computer, or put it into cold storage or put it into paper storage. They even have some fancy looking they have some fancy looking wallets that actually look like a coin. You could take the Bitcoin and purchase it and transfer it onto a physical coin, and that will be your cold storage. It won't be stored online where someone can access it and exploit it. Also, I'm open up for questions. If anybody has questions about Bitcoin, they want to try it out, they don't quite know where to start, my number is available. Feel free to call me. Also, I did mention about mining Bitcoin. We talked a little bit about mining Bitcoin last time. And I wanted to give you the idea that if you If you mine Bitcoin, you have plenty of time to do it. So I said 40 years out into the future, but actually I looked it up and the actual, you can mine Bitcoin longer than 40 years. It's more like 140 years. It'll be 140 years before the last Bitcoin is mined.
Mm.
So I see I have a question.
Yeah,
Uh,
I raised my hand. I don't know if that's somebody else. I
yeah,
have a question. Due to the last seminar, I bought just $100 of Bitcoin off Cash App,
mhm.
and I've been buying a little bit every month just to kind of see, since I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh,
So
you must be a happy camper right now then.
yes, I am. I saw a profit every month. I've seen a little profit every month, and so I guess is that a good way to start? I just buy like $100 a month,
Absolutely, I would think so.
and it's on the Cash App. So it was really simple. I was kind of, really
But I would take it
surprised.
off of Cash App. I would take it off of Cash App because
Okay.
Cash App is on someone else's computer. It's not on your computer.
Oh,
Right. It's not on your computer. So if anything happens to Cash App, then all your Bitcoin is subject to whatever happens to Cash App. So I would purchase the Bitcoin and then transfer it over to your own personal wallet. Now, uh, the wallets that I've used and that I'm happy with, that I've recommended, I'm not sure what type of phone do you have. What type of phone?
a Samsung S9 or something like that.
Okay, I have a Samsung too. So I would recommend, if you're using an Android, there is a nice wallet called Mycelium wallet.
Can you
How's
spell,
that? How's
how
that
to spell
spelled?
that?
I think it's Myceliam. I think that's it. Try that. Google that. It'll come up. Mycelium wallet. Just type in Mycelium wallet. The best way you can type it in and Google it, and you'll find it. Mycelium Bitcoin wallet. Also, another wallet that I've used that I'm happy with is Coinami wallet. Uh, the
Can you
great thing
spell
about
that? Okay.
Coinami is Coinami, I think. Coinami. Look
Okay.
that up, Google it, Google it the best
Okay.
way you can, and you'll find it. Um,
And-
I like the Coinami wallet because it allows you to access all the different coins that are available out there,
Okay.
and you can transfer the value from one coin to another. So if
Okay.
you wanted to, buy some Ethereum, you could transfer some of your Bitcoin and convert it over to Ethereum or any other coin that's available out there.
Okay.
Also, you can use the Coinami wallet to purchase Bitcoin directly from your Coinami wallet, the same way you do from Cash App.
Oh,
Except for
that's what my question. Okay, good.
yes,
Okay.
except for with the Coinami, you actually have physical control of your coins once you purchase them. Once you purchase them in your Coinami wallet, the value is stored physically on your device.
Okay.
And the great thing about the Coinami wallet is it works on multiple platforms. So it works on the iPhone, it works on the Android, it works on the tablet, it works on your computer. So you can use any of those devices for your wallet. And when you purchase the coin, it will be on your physical device. You
Okay.
have full control over it. When your money is on Cash App, you have some control over it, but you don't have full 100% control over it, because
Okay.
if anything happens to the Cash App computer, that's not your computer. That's somebody else's computer.
I didn't
So
know that.
yeah, so
Okay.
you're actually storing it in someone else's computer when you use Cash App.
Okay. You said that your phone number was available, and I don't see it. In case I have any questions.
Um, I'm in the newsletter, and I'm sure it'll be posted again in the next newsletter. Um, we'll make sure you get it. I'll reach out to you and make sure you get my phone number.
Okay,
Should we put it in the chat, Malik?
If you could put it in the chat, it's
Okay.
yeah, put it in the chat if you have it.
okay, all right. I just wait for someone to put in the chat. Okay.
Okay, is there any other questions?
How do you redeem the coin value? And is there any minimum time to be invested before redemption?
When you say redeem, you mean convert it from Bitcoin back into cash?
Yes.
To do that, there's a button on Cash App where you can you push the button and you push the sell button on your Cash App, and that as soon as you push that sell button, it's going to ask you how much of your Bitcoin do you want to sell, and if you push all, then it will convert all your Bitcoin into cash, and you can use that cash immediately.
In terms of minimum, you invested today, can you redeem a week from now, or is there some minimum period of time you have to wait
No.
before you can redeem again?
No. You could purchase Bitcoin right now at any price. You could purchase $4 worth right now, and you can sell it in 20 minutes from now if you wanted to. Or you can sell it anytime you feel like it.
Mhm.
There are fees, like it anytime you do a transaction, it's not free. Like if you
Mm.
buy $150 worth of Bitcoin today, tomorrow, and you sell it back the same day, you're not going to get $150 back because there was a transaction fee for the. So actually, my question is about Coinami. Are there fees for using the wallet?
No, there's no fee for using the wallet. There are transaction fees that apply to each transaction that happens. When I said that you can buy it now and sell it 20 minutes from now, I was just using that as a hypothetical example to show you that there's no time limit to, that you're locked into. But there are fees, and the fees are different. The fees are not always the same. The mining fees, like if you purchase $150 worth of Bitcoin, they may charge a fee of $2 or $1, $1.50, or whatever, depending on how much you purchase and the time period when you purchase. If everybody is buying Bitcoin at the same time, if there's a mad rush to buy Bitcoin, then the fee is going to be a little bit higher. Now, that's the mining fee that I'm talking about there. Also, when you go to some exchanges will charge you a fee to purchase the Bitcoin too, and it's not going to be, it's not usually a lot. It's not usually a high fee. I never worry about the fees. I never ever worry about the fees because I know that when I purchase Bitcoin, that I'm always going to make more money than I started with. Just from my perspective and just from my personal experience.
How long have you been investing in Bitcoins?
Well, I think when I started Bitcoin, I think it was like around 5 years ago, and I think the price was like around 200, right around $200 a coin, a little bit more than $200 a coin. At one period of time, I was living off of Bitcoin. In other words, I was using the Bitcoin. What I did was when I first purchased Bitcoin, I purchased $10 worth of Bitcoin, and during that time period, um, when it was around a little over $200 a coin, the fees were very, very minimal. The fees were like 10 cents, 5 cents, or whatever. It was really, really small, 3 cents. So those were the fees. Those were the transaction fee prices during that time. So I purchased $10 worth of Bitcoin, sold it the same day for $20. And then got excited. I was like, wow, whoa, hey, wow, look at that. I doubled my money. And I didn't really know what that meant, but I knew it meant something. I knew that was something powerful, to be able to double it like that. And so I kept on doing it. I took the $20 worth and I sold it for $40. Took the $40 worth, sold it for $80. Took the $80 worth, sold it for $160. And I just kept on going and kept on going and kept on going. Like I said, I paid my rent with it. I bought a car. I bought food. I bought everything I needed. Um, that was a very exciting time. I was just doing it. I was just buying and selling Bitcoin every day. And there's still people that do that. It's not as easy as it was then. Then it was very easy because, like I said, I started with $10. But where I bought and sold my Bitcoin, um, they've changed their policies, and so you can't buy and sell $10 worth now like you could then. You have to start with a higher amount, like maybe I think maybe I'm just guessing. I haven't looked at it for a long time, but maybe around $800 or something like that. You can't start with $10 like I did. But what I did is I just noticed that the price was different at different places where you purchase. Like you buy it at one exchange and you sell it at another exchange, you can make a profit. You can exploit the price difference. And if you look at the different exchanges, you'll notice that there are price differences at different exchanges.
So what's your
How many
assessment of
exchanges
this,
are there?
There's hundreds of them.
Sister Connie?
Yeah. Brother Malik, how many different exchanges are there? I'm sorry, I missed the first session.
There's
So,
hundreds. There's hundreds of exchanges, places where you exchange Bitcoin. Some
okay,
people don't like to trade Bitcoin on Bitcoin exchanges because all of the transactions are publicly recorded. Every transaction that you do in Bitcoin is publicly recorded. And usually when you purchase it at an exchange, you have to use your ID in order to purchase it. So what some people do is they like to purchase Bitcoin anonymously. And the first wallet that I showed you, the Mycelium wallet, will allow you to purchase Bitcoin through an exchange. That's one option. Or it has a list of individuals all over the country, all over the world. It has a list of individuals. All you have to do is type in the country that you are interested in, and it'll give you a list of individuals and their phone numbers or their email address or a way to contact them. And you can contact them and purchase Bitcoin from them directly and anonymously without using an ID. I would just use a lot of caution if you're dealing with people that you don't know, because this Bitcoin has monetary value, and anytime anything has monetary value, there will be people trying to exploit that. So I have used some of those exchanges. I used the Mycelium exchange, but the way I used it is I would look somebody up. If they were selling it for a good price, I contacted that person and I set up a meeting with them at Starbucks or someplace like that. And then I met them at Starbucks, and then we did the exchange that way. I would caution you to purchase Bitcoin from individuals that you don't know online. I would caution you away from that. Try to stay away from that type of transaction. If you're dealing with reputable companies like Cash App or Coinbase or companies like that, you should be safe purchasing Bitcoin without meeting the person in person.
Do you have any thoughts on the continual upside of Bitcoins at this point? I believe you said it's somewhere around $1,500.
$15,000 a coin.
$15,000.
$15,000 a coin. And in my opinion, this is my opinion. Okay, I can't tell the future. I'm not, I don't know what the future holds, but in my opinion and from my perspective, like I said, when I started Bitcoin, it started out at $10. It started out at around $100. Around $200 per coin, and now it's up to $15,000 per coin. So in my experience, I've seen the price go up. The price appears to be going up. The price, to me, the price always appears to be going up, even though some people say, well, I saw Bitcoin take a dip. Bitcoin took a dip last year. It went up to 20,000 and now it's down to 15,000. Well, if you're looking at it from the perspective of the first time you looked at it was last year and it was at 20,000 and then it went down to 15,000, then your perspective could be that the price is going down. But from my perspective, still, if I started at $200 and it's now up to $15,000, then my perspective is the price is going up. So I stick with that perspective, and I see a number of things that are occurring that will push the price up. Bitcoin is a limited resource. There can only ever be 21 million Bitcoin ever in existence. Man, now there's about 15.5 million Bitcoins in the world today that exist today. So 140 years, that's how I said 40 years, I made a mistake, let me make a correction. 140 years into the future, the last Bitcoin will be mined and there will be 21 million Bitcoins in the world that exists. That's it. No more Bitcoin will exist. No more Bitcoin will be produced after that. So that fact alone, that it's a limited resource, it's inflation proof. That is enough to drive up the price, right? Because if it's a limited resource, there's only, everybody, people, right now, people are learning about Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is heading into the mainstream. In other words, what I'm saying is just like the internet or just like the home computer. Remember when the home computer, only a few people had them? Now everybody has at least 2 computers in their home. The home computer went to mainstream, right? The internet, only a few people were using it. I remember when the internet first started, I worked for the Department of Defense, and I remember when we didn't have any internet, and then I remember the first version of Windows was in black and white, and now it's mainstream. So Bitcoin is going mainstream. That right there alone is enough to drive up the price. Any more questions?
If Bitcoin is going mainstream, doesn't that kind of take away
one of the benefits of it being a currency that was not public, that was not recorded, and that people could do anonymously and out of sight of the government keeping track of what they were doing.
When I said that it's going mainstream, yes, I agree with you to an extent that now there are a lot of companies getting involved in Bitcoin, and there's a lot of companies that are making Bitcoin available where you can purchase it. You have to give them your ID and your social security card number and all that kind of stuff. So the more companies that are doing that, yes, there's a large number of companies that are starting to go in that direction. However, I still think that it's still possible to purchase Bitcoin anonymously. And I gave you one example, use the Mycelium wallet. That's one way that you can purchase it. When I was buying and selling Bitcoin, when I was living off of it, like I said at one time I was living off of it, I completely bought all of my Bitcoin anonymous. They were all private transactions.
Mm-hmm.
How can you find private transactions? Well, I looked for them. I searched them out. Um, one way, I'll tell you one way, Bitcoin meetup. There's a Bitcoin meetup everywhere. Just type in Bitcoin meetup. Type in Bitcoin meetup and type in your city, and you'll find Bitcoin meetup, and it has a list of people. All those people have. That's where a lot of the Bitcoin miners hang out at. That's where it's like a free source of Bitcoin information, and also people that you can go to one of those meetups and you can just meet somebody and say, hey, look. I mean, now with the virus, with the pandemic, maybe not so much, but after the pandemic passes, you can go to those Bitcoin meetups. Maybe some of them are occurring online. You can meet people there and say, hey, look, I got $100 in my purse. I like to purchase some Bitcoin, and they'll sell you the Bitcoin right there. That's anonymous. That's not recorded. That's not, in other words, it's recorded in the Bitcoin ledger, but there's no name attached to it. It's no, it didn't require to use your ID or use your phone number or your social security number or anything like that in order to acquire that particular
Malik,
cryptocurrency. Yes.
Malik, since you had introduced this, a number of things have popped up for me, and one, and I can't remember the name of the publication, but it was kind of like a magazine for Bitcoin.
Bitcoin magazine, yeah.
So are there some that you can recommend that we can browse or look at, or do you not recommend any of them?
That would be the main one.
Which one? I'm sorry.
Bitcoin magazine.
Oh.
And you can find that on Cash App. If you go to Cash App, it'll advertise the Bitcoin magazine.
Okay.
In the Bitcoin area, just click on the Bitcoin, and you'll see the Bitcoin magazine. I would read that. Just browse around and just ask, just like you're asking me questions. You can ask Google those questions, and they have videos on. There's many videos on Bitcoin.
Question,
Yeah.
Malik, does Bitcoin, does it follow a market, or it just is its own market? Does it just do what it does, or does it follow cyclically or anything like that, like the stock market? Or
Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin is an open source cryptocurrency, which means that the source code is available to anyone. And that's why you have hundreds of different cryptocurrencies out there now, because they took the Bitcoin source code and they Xerox copied it, and then they changed the name changed a few things, changed the name, and then they made up their own coin. So anybody can make their own coin. So all of the other coins, some of these coins are even better than Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is still the first. Bitcoin is the most popular, and Bitcoin is the most, it has the highest market value, it has the highest rate. So Bitcoin is its own thing. All those other coins may depend on the value of Bitcoin. So sometimes when you see Bitcoin go up, you'll see some of the other values of the other coins uh, go up. So Bitcoin is its own thing. It's open source. Um,
What
anybody can
about
get the full code.
Acoin? What
Yeah.
about Acoin? What about the Acoin, Akon's coin that he has come out with? I think that it came out today, where he's trying to
really?
create this African, this city, and he's actually bought the land to buy a city in Senegal that he plans to have operate through only this coin. It's called an Acoin. It actually just came out today.
I like Akon, and I like the way I like his thinking. I like his direction. And if he has a coin, I would say follow that coin.
Okay, well, my understanding, I missed my appointment to figure out how to buy some today. I chose to come and listen to you instead, but I'm gonna think about that, but it just came out today.
Akon is a very forward-thinking brother, in my
Okay.
opinion, from what I've seen of that brother and from what I've heard of him. So, you know, I think he's on the right track. And yeah, there are actually some coins that are better than Bitcoin. They're designed better. However, they just don't have the popularity as Bitcoin. Anybody can take, like I said, anybody can create a coin right now because the source code is available to anybody. You can make modifications to it, and if you're sharp enough, you can make improvements to it. And some people have. There's another coin out there called Ethereum that was designed by a Russian young man. And Ethereum is very popular because what he did is he added a programming language to it. And he also added a method that allows you to store documents. So you can use it to trade currency, or you can use it to store documents of any type of transaction, any type of contract, real estate contracts, any type of contract can be stored in the Ethereum database. So yes, there are some coins that are. I would take a look at the Acoin. What do you call it? The Acoin?
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
And so, since we last spoke with you,
this is my first awareness of it. So you're just making me aware of it.
So since we last spoke with you, when we talked, Bitcoin was 11. I think it was maybe 10, almost 11. It's up to 15 now. And just looking at the chart is looking incredible. It's looking better than any stock chart that I've ever looked at. But I talked with somebody over the weekend, and I was telling them, it looks like, I don't know a lot about it, but it seems to be moving up. And he said, well, yeah, I was thinking that too, but I invested about maybe 3-4 years ago, and it was like 19,000, and then it apparently the bottom dropped, right?
Oh yeah, I spoke about that earlier in this video. How some people may have had, if they just started looking at it last year, and it was up at 20,000, and then now it's down to 15,000. From their perspective, it went down. But from my perspective, I'm looking at it from a perspective where I started at 200 and now it's at 15,000. It's still up. It's still going up. So in the long run, it went up. And even if he purchased at 19,000, if he purchased 19,000 and he still has his Bitcoin that he purchased at 19,000, he didn't sell it, let's say he held on to it, then I would venture to say that he's still able to make a profit off of that Bitcoin. That's my
Okay.
opinion.
There's a couple of things in the news I thought were worth sharing. You guys might appreciate this. So this is like Aussie, like a news thing that comes out like every day. And one of them was this guy in Canada gave out Bitcoin gift cards to trick-or-treaters. And JP Morgan is now pitching Bitcoin to its investors as the new gold. Another one is young Nigerians used Bitcoin to account for 40% of their money collected for the protests that they've been doing to end police brutality. So it's definitely in the news. People are definitely using it. And then I was reading a book by an IT specialist. It was a science fiction book, but based on a lot of science. And in it, he talked about the demise of the American dollar and the financial system, and how many people started, sort of fooling around with Bitcoin just to hedge their bets, right? Like, because you don't know what's going to happen with the stock market, the way it's going and things like that. And just always, good to have things sort of spread around. And so in the book, of course, bad things happen, but it was just one line in the text where he talked about just sort of making sure that, you hedge your bets. And so I thought I'd share that.
Oh
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you for the share. I when I look at the US dollar, well, I'm not a financial expert or anything like that. The only thing I'm doing here is sharing my experiences that I've had. But so I don't really understand, I know that they're constantly printing money all the time, every day. They're printing more money and unlimitedly. And so that decreases the value of the money. I don't understand all the mechanics of that and how it works, but I do understand how Bitcoin, being a limited resource, makes it more valuable. And so it's a limited resource. The more people that start getting involved in it, the more the value of it is going to go up. And that's why Bitcoin is considered to be inflation proof.
So who is administering all of this
Bitcoin,
activity?
well, if you looked at my previous Bitcoin video, I talked about a guy by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto who created Bitcoin and then he disappeared. He put together a team of people working together to develop Bitcoin and improve it as it goes along. And it just seems that it really hasn't changed that much. Bitcoin really hasn't changed that much. I mean, there's a team of developers, but when it comes to making a change, when it comes to well, let's change this or let's change that, a lot of times they just give up, throw in the towel and say, well, let's just create another coin, rather than touch what's already there, rather than touch the magic that's already there and is already working. There's already, it may have some limitations, but it's still doing its job, and it's doing its job well. Bitcoin is not owned or controlled by any company. It's not owned or controlled by any government. You control Bitcoin. You are the controller of Bitcoin. So when you have Bitcoin, when you have a Bitcoin wallet, you have your money in your wallet, in your personal wallet, you are in full and complete control of that Bitcoin. And you are the bank at that point. You're your own bank. And so you have to be very wise in the management of your Bitcoin, be very wise in the management of the storage of your password. Don't lose your password. Don't be like that guy who passed away, and he took $190 million worth of everybody's Bitcoin with him because he was the only one who knew the password. Don't put yourself in that type of situation. Make sure you know your Bitcoin password, and make sure you have it stored in a safe place. And consider some of the cold storage methods. Look up Bitcoin cold storage and study that. And also get you a good wallet. I recommended two. There's two wallets that I like, the Mycelium wallet and the Coinami wallet. But there are other wallets out there too, and there's also cold storage that you can use. So that's mainly what I wanted to
Is it
do.
wise to have, is it wise to have more than one wallet, or do
Yeah,
you
why not? Why not?
choose one or the
Absolutely.
other?
Absolutely.
And I missed your first talk in the first part of this one. Did you
Didn't you
talk
buy it?
about Bitcoin mining?
The way Bitcoin mining works is the Bitcoin miners are the people that make the transaction happen. They push the transaction along. And so what happens is every Bitcoin transaction is stored in a ledger. It's called the blockchain. So these transactions are stacked on top of each other. All the transactions are stacked on top of each other using a very complex mathematical calculation that requires a supercomputer in order to do. And the Bitcoin miners run those machines. And every time they complete blocks of transactions, they get rewarded Bitcoin for those transactions. So when they help facilitate the transactions in the blockchain, they get rewarded. More Bitcoins come into the system. More Bitcoin are created into the system. And this will happen for the next 140 years until the last Bitcoin is mined. And that will make it 21 million Bitcoin.
Who set
How
that
do you know
figure?
it's going to stop at that amount?
Yeah, who set that figure?
Because Satoshi Nakamoto designed the software to limit the amount of Bitcoin that would be produced. And that was the limit that he put on it, 21 million Bitcoin. But that's 21 million Bitcoin, that's not $21 million. Okay. So you got
Right.
20 million Bitcoins, you can buy any fraction of Bitcoin. And people are buying, small fractions of it, large fractions of it, $1 million. There's $1 million transactions going on in Bitcoin right now. But the fact that there can only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, and some of these Bitcoins are disappearing. We just talked about the guy who passed away, and he took $190 million worth of Bitcoin with him to his grave. So that's 190 million Bitcoin out of the system. Guess what? That drives up the price of Bitcoin because it's limited the amount that's available. So naturally the price is going to go up.
So basically for the Bitcoin, people are buying and selling it, but what's the Bitcoin mining or Bitcoin for free?
Okay, well, when you talk about mining Bitcoin, you're not talking about, I have some ideas about Bitcoin mining that I'll be happy to share with you.
I mean, I'm kind of confused. Is buying and selling Bitcoin sounds kind of normal. Mining sounds a little fuzzy to me. I don't understand. Is that the way you acquire Bitcoin, or do you just buy and sell it?
Mining Bitcoin seems like it could be free. And in the earlier days of Bitcoin, when you can mine Bitcoin on your personal computer, Anybody could just have a personal computer and they can have that software and they can just run it on their personal computer and it would produce free Bitcoin. It would be virtually, let me just say virtually free, okay? Because now that you have to use a supercomputer to run it, that's a cost. Those costs, you talking about 5,000, 7,000, somewhere around there, to buy a machine. That's a cost, right? I said, now you have to run the machine. You got to run the machine, and the machine produces a lot of heat. Okay. It takes a lot of electricity. That electricity has to be paid for, right? You're talking about you're running a supercomputer now. You're running a supercomputer. It's producing a lot of heat. You got to work out the heat. What are you going to do about the heat? You got to you have to store it in a refrigeration unit or something like that. That's a cost. That costs money. So you're talking about the electricity cost. You're talking about the refrigeration cost. You're talking about the computer cost. So you have to balance and weigh all that out. If you decide that you want to do some Bitcoin mining, you're going to have to decide where you're going to store this machine at.
I'm
How
still
you-
confused as to what it is that you mine. I mean,
You're mining new
you're
Bitcoin
running
out
some
of the system.
software that creates what?
Creates Bitcoin. It creates Bitcoin. It creates a digital value. A digital value. Okay, right now, Bitcoin miners are rewarded 3 Bitcoins for the transactions that they complete. So when they complete a transaction, they get 3 Bitcoins. That's 3 times $15,000.
So the transaction that they're running is the transaction to buy or sell Bitcoin.
The transaction that they facilitated to occur is the buy and selling of Bitcoin. Yes, they facilitated that transaction and they got rewarded 3 Bitcoin.
So they're not actually buying or selling Bitcoin. They're facilitating the transaction.
Yeah,
And as their fee for facilitating this transaction, they're getting Bitcoin.
they get Bitcoin. Bitcoin is created out of the system and rewarded to them for that. Yes.
And so they have to
But
find these
now,
transactions to process.
yes, they have to find the transaction to process. Then they have to process the transaction, and then they have to successfully process the transaction, and then the system gives them 3 Bitcoins for doing that.
Okay. You've said that clearly, but it still confuses me.
How are you confused?
Just a new concept entirely, just trying to wrap my head around it.
The software is designed to reward them for the transaction. Now, every 4 years, their reward is cut in half. It's called the halving event. So prior to May, they were rewarded. I think they were rewarded. Well, actually, I think it's 6 Bitcoins. I think they get 6 Bitcoins because I think prior to May, they were getting 12 Bitcoins. Yeah, they were getting 12 Bitcoins per transaction. Then after May, it went to half. So now they get 6 Bitcoin. Let me make that correction. They're rewarded 6 Bitcoins per transaction. And 4 years from now, they'll be rewarded 3 Bitcoins per transaction. So that's just the way that the software is designed. It has every 4 years. Their reward halves in every 4 years.
on that Bitcoin mining, there was a documentary, I believe that was on Netflix, maybe it was Amazon, and it was a big production. You know, they had all these computers in the basement and stuff. And from what I recall, it's bringing the Bitcoin into circulation.
Yes. It brings new Bitcoin in circulation. Yeah.
It brings new Bitcoin and yeah, from what I remember about it. Okay, I just want to be sure. But it's kind of like for people who are really, really, nerdy in the computers because they really, right? I mean, that's how I saw it. I mean, also what they showed in the documentary. They love this kind of stuff, and they sacrifice a lot of time and invest a lot of their own money into this mining to get. You have to get the right equipment
Okay, well,
to mine, but I don't know.
I said that you have to have a supercomputer to mine Bitcoin, but
Mhm.
recall that I said in the earlier days you could just use a regular PC, right? You could just use a regular desktop at home to mine Bitcoin before the transactions become increasingly difficult to manage as time goes on. As more transactions are stacked onto the blockchain, the transaction becomes increasingly difficult to manage. However, someone just said that Akon created a new coin. So I would imagine that if Akon just created a new coin and they're just now starting to mine it, you could probably use that mining software on your own personal computer and start mining that coin without having a supercomputer. You can just use a regular computer. That's my guess. I'm just guessing.
I see where Sister Connie has her hand up. Connie?
No, not, I didn't know how to make it go away. Thank
Oh.
you.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I'm not used to doing this on my phone, so.
Mhm. Okay, that's fine. I feel like we're getting like ground floor information. Even though people have jumped in to this new area, this new field, I feel like we're getting really good information. I as you were talking, I just downloaded the Coinami wallet for myself, so I'm getting closer.
Okay, yeah. Now, so now you can take some of that Bitcoin that you have in your Cash App and move it over to your Coinami wallet. So that'll be your homework.
That's my
Well,
assignment.
Yeah. So, and you
So-
make it
so-
sound so easy.
And I moved my
Yeah,
money
it is.
over to the Coinami wallet, but now that I've moved it and I can't figure out how to do it again, I've looked at a tutorial and figured out how to move it from Cash App to Konami. I think I had to like take a picture of the code or a barcode or something. But now my concern is once you move it into Coinami, how do I retrieve that back out as cash? I can't go to an ATM, right?
No,
But actually I did, and I did
see.
see an ATM.
Yeah,
I
you
have
could.
seen an
I think
ATM.
those ATMs only allow you to buy Bitcoin.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I think they only allow you to buy Bitcoin. I don't use those Bitcoin ATMs because, well, I didn't when I was buying and selling Bitcoin and living off of it. I never used those. I knew the guy. Actually, I know the guy who owns a lot of these Bitcoin machines around in Sacramento. I met him at the Bitcoin meetup, and I don't know. I just think 20% for me is a little steep. And I used to buy Bitcoin from him personally at market price. He would just give me the value. I give him $20 and he gave me $20 worth of Bitcoin. That was that. I didn't have to pay no extra. I didn't have to pay no extra markup fee or any 20% that you pay at the Bitcoin machines.
Can I just thank you, Malik, I just wanted to read what Celeste just put in our chat. She says, could people mute? Because sometimes I'm getting some kind of feedback. Anyway, it says, according to Google, Acorn has been around a while. It seems that Acoin has been around a while. It seems that Acorn is a progressive city idea that has secured $6 billion in funding. Saw a Forbes article, but haven't had a chance to read it yet. And then she also gives the URL. So if you're interested in what Mama Darnisha just brought up about Acoin and the brother Akon, it's in the chat for everybody to check out.
Baba, he didn't answer my question about how do I retrieve once I put my Bitcoin into Coinami or Mycelium and I want to buy something. I have a bill. I want to pay my bill. How do I get that $1,000 out of there?
Open your Mycelium wallet, go to your Bitcoin, and on the top right, you'll see a send button. Then you push that send button, and it'll ask you how much you want to send. And then it'll ask you also where you want to send it to. Send it back to your Cash App. Go to Cash App, go to Cash App, and on Cash App, let me see. Let me pull up my Cash App here.
Okay, so I send
on Cash App, you click on Bitcoin, and then you click on Deposit Bitcoin. You click on Deposit Bitcoin in Cash App, and then it'll give you the address and to deposit it to, and you take that address and paste it onto your Coinami and push the send button. And then when you get in the Cash App, convert it to cash. Does that answer your question?
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Now, does the wallet, because on Cash App, what I really like, it shows the increase, it gives me the stock up and down. Does the wallet do that too?
Let me see, I don't know, does it?
Because see, I like it because it's handy. I can just, it's so easy,
That's something that's available. That's a nice option that's available on Cash App. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about
Yeah.
the graph. There's
I
no
like
graph.
that.
I don't see a graph with Konami, but there are many. I mean, if you just Google Bitcoin, you're gonna see some Bitcoin charts that's gonna tell you the price, what the price was yesterday, what the price is today. Yeah, that's a nice feature. There are some charts out there that are even more intricate than the one that you see there on Cash App. It actually breakdown. You can break it down for a week. You can break it down for a day. You can break it down for a month. You can break it down for a year. You can break it down for 5 years. You can break it down for all time and just see the chart and see what it looks like and see what Bitcoin is doing.
Oh, I hope I hope Cash App don't go nowhere. Because I am loving Cash App.
Oh yeah, Cash App is nice.
Man,
But if you had to, if Cash App did go somewhere, you can shoot your Bitcoin over to Coinbase and cash it out there as well. So there's different places where you can cash it out.
oh, Coinbase, you said? I never heard of that. Okay.
Yeah, Coinbase.
BASE. That's what you're saying, Coinbase.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that's my class. If no one has any more questions, I just want to make sure you guys knew how to have a personal wallet and also cold storage, Google cold storage. Find out how to save your Bitcoin value offline onto your own personal device, and also you can save it onto paper, or there's some devices that look like a flash drive. You can store the value there. Don't store your value on other people's machines, on other people's exchanges. Don't keep your, especially if you have large amounts, do not store the value there
Okay.
because you don't want to get into a situation like what happened with the people that lost $190 million or the other people that lost $490 million in Bitcoin because
Yeah.
they trusted their Bitcoin on someone else's machine.
Okay, so is the I'm thinking the wallet is something you store offline.
So your
Okay, and then
personal
you say the
wallet,
cold
if
storage
you
is
have a personal wallet like Coinami,
right.
when I recommend it, or Mycelium, another one I recommended, those are two personal wallets that store your Bitcoin value offline.
Okay,
You have it stored in your own on your own personal device that you have full control over and that you have full access to. And with both of those wallets, you can convert it to a string of words. You can convert your value. Let's say you had $500,000 in Bitcoin. You can convert that to a string of words. And so you have those words somewhere. Don't store them online. Don't store them in the cloud where people can access them because anybody who has those words can have access to your Bitcoin. So you have those words stored in a safe, sound place. You have your own personal wallet stored offline. You have your
okay,
Bitcoin stored offline. And if anything happens to your device, like say you stored it on your phone, you decided to use your phone to store it, and then you accidentally dropped your phone in the toilet, and now the phone don't work anymore. You still have those words. You still have those words, and you can create another wallet, type in those words, and all your $500,000 worth of Bitcoins would be
okay.
recreated in a new wallet.
Okay, I guess what I'm seeing is what is the difference between the wallet and the cold storage? Why do I need the cold storage if I have the wallet?
It's an option.
Oh, it's an
It's
option.
just,
Okay.
it's just another
Okay.
option. Just
It's
another
just
option.
another option. Okay. All
Yeah.
righty. Mm-hmm.
Someone, Brother Tyrone asks, can you store at Chase or B of A?
I don't know. I don't know if Chase or B of A will allow you to store Bitcoin. However, I do know, and I am aware that banks are very interested in the blockchain. The blockchain is the technology that came along with Bitcoin. And banks, anytime someone does a Bitcoin transaction, banks are not getting paid,
Right.
you know. So they're trying to figure out how they can get paid. They want to get paid too. They see this technology, this new technology that's out and about, and they can't stop it. They'd like to stop it, but they can't. So instead of trying to stop it, which they can't do, they decided to study it. So they're studying blockchain technology and they're trying to figure out how they can use that blockchain technology in the banking system. Because as you know, as you may know, the banking system is a dinosaur. It is a very antiquated system that has not changed very much over the years. So this blockchain technology is a new technology. It's very, very powerful, and it's not controlled or owned by any company. It's not controlled or owned by any um, government. But now people are using, now since it's open source, and people can copy it. They have made copies of it, and they've copied their own version of it, their own blockchain. They created their own blockchain, and now they're using that, the one that they created. They have control over that, and so now they want you. They don't want you to use this Bitcoin. They want you to use the one that they created, the one that they have control over, so that they can put you back into the regular banking system. So beware of that also. When you say that people are creating coins, be mindful of who created the coin. If the government tells you that, okay, now we got a coin, we got a crypto coin, which they do, or if a bank comes up and they said that we have a crypto coin, which they do, then know that they are in control of it, okay? Just like they're in control of the fiat dollar, fiat green money that you use, they're in control of that. Whatever they control using the blockchain or this technology, they're in control of that, okay? So you have a choice. You can use the one that they're in control of, or you can use the one that was created by Satoshi Nakamoto. Or if you say that Akon has created the coin, he's a brother that you may have some confidence in what he's doing. Look at the technology, study it, make sure, find out who actually is in control of it.
Bobby, do you still have your hand raised? Okay. Is there anyone else? Any other questions? Well, this has been great again. I'm glad that you were able to share and give us a little bit more. You started out talking about storage and paper storage and flash drive storage, and then you pointed out how storing it on somebody else's machine, it could get easily lost. And so these are terms that I wrote down, blockchain, mining Bitcoins, and then you told us about transferring to your own personal wallet, so Mycelium and Coinami. For some reason, when I downloaded Coinami, Mycelium went on as well on my phone. I'm not sure how that happened. I don't want to be amongst those people that lost $190 million. That's bad. And then the folks that got hacked for 490, that's bad too. Something that you mentioned too was the Bitcoin meetup, and like you said, this probably these days it's some kind of virtual meetup. And then thank you, Mama Darnisha, for pointing out that Akon has a coin called Acoin, and Celeste, thank you for putting that in the chat so everybody can see it. Also, I put Malik's number. Malik, would you check in the chat and make sure I put your number in correctly?
Sure.
And so if you want to call Malik and bug the hell out of him, he's agreed to.
That's my number.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Sounds
Let
good.
me just give you a warning.
Yes.
That typically my phone is on do not disturb. Typically, that's just I'm not trying to ignore you or anything like that. That's just the normal mode that I keep my phone in. But if you send me a text message, then I read all my text messages.
Okay, that's good to know. So Celeste is not seeing the number. Is at the very top, Celeste?
If you text me and tell me to call you back, I'll call you back.
Let me put it in again here. Let's see. How do I do that? Okay, hold on. I'm going to copy and put it back again. Hold tight.
So if you tried to call me and you noticed that you couldn't reach me, then maybe that's because it was on do not disturb. But just send me a text message, then I'll call you right back.
Okay, I'm not able to cut and paste. I'm just going to put the number, Celeste, okay?
Okay.
All right. And I'm not putting any dashes, so.
And there's a way.
Debbie just sent it, so I've got it now.
I was able to cut and paste it. It worked.
Oh, you
for
were?
me.
Oh, good
Yeah.
for you. Thank you.
And
right.
there are 3 dots where you can save the whole chat, and it will save it to your computer.
Oh,
I don't know if
really?
you guys know that. Yeah.
Okay. No,
Is
I
this?
didn't.
Wait a minute. Is this Bobby I'm listening to?
Yes, it is.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
So
You,
you see, those-
you really are getting, I gotta keep my eye on you. You gotta, you've gone from 0 to 60. You know? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I spend a lot of time on the computer.
Uh-huh.
There's 3 dots you see after file.
I just did it.
Yeah, and you hit save chat and it will go and it will save right on your PC. I don't know if it saves on your desktop or in the file, but it's easy to achieve, retrieve. I'm sorry. Does everybody see that?
Yes, thank you
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, so because there's a lot of videos and stuff that people post there that I can retrieve later.
Bobby.
So
good.
speaking of
I'm growing up.
using our newfangled technology,
Yes.
this is related to the TWE class. I think I am signed up for WhatsApp, but I have not gotten anything. Should I have seen anything?
You know what? I will make sure that you do. I'm learning that. And so I've gotten some people on, and I will make sure, Celeste, that
Okay.
you're on, because I have your email, and I think I got your number too. And I will
can stick my number in the chat.
Would you do that? Yeah, that would help. Yeah.
So I hope this information was helpful. And for those of you who are involved in Bitcoin, I hope this information helps you out. I just wanted to make sure I knew a lot of people were interested. Donisha, I spoke with her and she said that she already had owned some Bitcoin. And when I started talking about it, she looked at it and she only had like $10 worth, and then it was up to $30, just in that short period, in the time that she looked at it, the time that I started talking about it. So I just wanted to make sure I knew there were some people that are interested in it and some people that are getting involved in it. And I wanted to make sure that you knew how to keep your Bitcoin safe. So that's why
Bought some too.
Part 2.
I bought Bitcoin because of your talk, and I have shared this information with all of my family. So
Wow.
I am not playing.
Wow.
I'm not playing.
Well, you know what? So Malik, you've done us all a great service, and
definitely.
Let's give him. It's going to be.
Definitely. Thank you, Malik.
Before we depart, everyone, I want to make some announcements, and let's see. Let me bring some things up here. So so this is regarding our next class that's coming up. So firstly, let me share screen here, and so you'll see what a mess that I've created here. But so next class is my cousin. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
So this is my cousin, Dr. Mo Anderson. And so she has a book that she just came out with. It's called Success is a Side Effect. She also has Symphony, I Stand Accused. Actually, these are her sons. And she has this one, A Sister's Fed Up. I've read this one. I'm not so good with novels, but I've read this one, Mom, Are We There Yet? And I think this actually came out before that movie, Are We There Yet? Black English Vernacular from Ain't to Yo Mama. And Never Close Your Heart. Mo she's a dentist, she's an entrepreneur, and she's a cancer survivor. And so she will be talking with us next week. So that's Dr. Mo. And then let's see. So I just want to remind everyone about our anniversary. This is our flyer for the anniversary, and I've sent it out to a number of people. And so Professor James Smalls is going to be our keynote speaker, and a wonderful musician, Destiny Muhammad, the Destiny Muhammad Trio. She plays harp. You know, you feel like you're going to heaven, and so that's for December 6th. So in a few weeks, a couple of weeks, and it's from 10. You know, I'm sure we won't end at 12:30, but we're going to try as soon as we can. So I know I sent it to the elders in Oakland and the elders in Sacramento, and we're going to put this up on both websites. So just so you know. And
So
then,
the meditation, you'll skip meditation that day?
you know what? Yeah, we are going to skip meditation that day.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm glad you caught that. I'm glad you caught that. So the following week is my wife's first cousin. This month has been like a family affair. My wife's first cousin. She's married to a retired electrical engineer from Lockheed. And now that he's retired, he gets to do the kind of artwork that he does. And so these are just a few. If you're Facebook friends with him, his name is Terrence Smith. He puts out a picture every day. And like this last one, you know, they're all like, you know, I kind of joke with him. They're kind of like Rorschach tests, you know? So each one, I mean, you see so many things. He puts so many things in his artwork. So I've asked him to come and join us. He's kind of shy, you know, about his art, but as you can see, he's very talented. And so I would like for him to present for us. You guys get to know him, and I'm really encouraging him to make a book with just his art pieces. But so those are the things that I just wanted to talk about. You know, just to remind us of. Celeste, I got your number. She's saying, Malik, thank you so much. I've been wondering about Bitcoin. You've motivated me to look into it further. So, and I see Kat, he's giving the nod of approval that, you know, so yeah, it's just.
Is tweet class this Saturday, Minister Imhotep?
Treat class is supposed to be this week, because last week we got the let me find my I think so last week we got the documents, and this is why it's so important for me to get Celeste in, and so Nana Pukia gave these documents for us to look at. She gave us some videos to watch and that she put in our notes in the tree group. So I'm going to make sure, Celeste, that you're in there, and you know, we'll talk to make sure verified. We got Connie in, you know, so, and anyone else that wants to be a part of this group can, or unless you're just like some of my friends that I talk to, they're just zoomed out. You know, they're in Zoom meetings all day, and this is just one more cyber thing that they have to do. So, but it's very good information, and Nana Pukia is an excellent teacher, and we're learning a lot, and I think the people that participate, you know, are having a good time. So it's coming up on the 6:30 hour. It's about 6:28. Darnisha, you have something that you would like to say, or you look like you want to say something?
Yeah.
Do I look like I want to say something?
You do, yeah. I mean, you don't have to, you know.
No, just love you all. Go on the website and buy some Kente cloth stoles and some anniversary booklets.
And
And
And that's on, and those are all on my website at the www.ubuntu1865.com.
okay, and I have an announcement, Imhotep.
yes,
AABH is having our November seminar next Tuesday from 6 to 8, and we have a brother from DC who is going to be speaking about the CBD oil because it's really big now. And I talked to him yesterday, and I believe he's going to have some medical doctors on there with him. You know what I mean, to talk about the benefits and the effects, and I guess some patients that have really improved from the CBD oil. But the main thing is really talking about the quality, what to look for.
okay.
And the CBD
So how
oil.
do we get
Yeah.
included in that?
Huh?
How do we get included in that? What do we have to
Yeah.
do?
Oh, okay. Well, I can send you a flyer. I sent out a flyer today, but I don't think you're on my email list, Celeste. So I can send you a
Okay.
flyer, and on the flyer has the the I guess the password and everything's included. You can just push it and you zoom right into the meeting.
Brother
yeah.
Tyrone, excuse me, Bobby.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
I do have that email, Celeste. Okay, I'll send you one.
All right, thanks.
Uh-huh.
Brother Tyrone, Bobby asks, what kind of oil? What is the oil? Would you explain that again?
CBD oil. I
And
don't know if you heard of it. That's from the hemp plant. And some people think, and it's separate from the THC because the THCs makes you high, but so the plant is stripped where it's just, where it's more medicinal without the effects of getting you high, And so there is really a lot of research about how well people are doing with MS and sickle cell. So anyway, so that's what we're going to talk about on Tuesday because it's a big thing now. Mm-hmm.
All right. So thank you. Somebody is working really fast. Thank you. I think that's Mama Darnisha. It's pain and inflammation relief. I believe it started with the gentleman in Canada, Rick Simpson, and he was able to cure his skin cancer with CBD oil. And but his actual formula actually leaves the THC in, because he considers that part of the healing process. Also, within the human brain, you have these CBD receptors that get triggered actually in meditation, but they also, of course, get triggered when you take the THC as well. So that sounds like a good. So what's that date again? Next Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday the 17th from 6 to 8.
All right, Tuesday 17th from 6 to 8. All right, my friends, it's 6:32. I'm glad that you could join us. Amin, Kwesi, Malik, Ali, thank you so much. Thank everyone for including their information in the chat and coming out verbally. I think this was another success.
Baba, I have one thing before you do that close. I'm sorry to interrupt you. One important thing to let folks know. You guys probably already figured out that the website is down. You weren't able to click to get into this meeting today through the website. So we have officially been hacked yet again in a way that has been rather difficult to clean. So it's going to be at least 48 hours before I'm able to restore that. So I am crossing my fingers that by Sunday it's all done and clear. But there is the website will not show if you go to it for at least the next 48 hours.
I just want to say big up to Mama Darnisha for actually, spending so much time. I talked to her earlier today, and so she has been in chats and on the phone dealing with the intricacies of getting the website back. So bravo to her, and stay with it, my friend.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not sure if the WOW meeting is going to take place, but I'm going to leave everything up in case it is. I see something that looks like Mama Ngina's here, and I see.
Yeah, and the meeting is not this week; it's next week, Bubba. We had one last week. It's every other week.
Okay, well,
Next Wednesday.
next Wednesday, and I really feel excluded, but okay, that's
That happens
Women, Baba.
sometimes.
you know what?
That's for women.
No, you know what? That I am so happy that you all are doing it. You know, if you look in Destruction of Black Civilization, it talks about the women's group in the in chapter 6 of the African Constitution, and how the older women actually groom the younger women for various things in life. And so what you're doing is needed, and I'm thankful that you're actually able to form that within WOSE.
Yeah, and I also want to say too that the participation is getting low on the morning, Sunday morning Black Civilization class, Destruction of Black Civilization class. And I mean, it would be nice if we had other people, because we're splitting up the chapters. So if you can, we're on chapter 5. We're on chapter 5. So if you can, you know, come join, because, you know, it's really, it's getting very small. And we like to be support.
It's at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, yeah. And we go to 10 because of, you know, meditation is just an hour.
Sure.
So class. So anyway, I'm just throwing it out there.
All right, I'm gonna try to make it. Usually, I'm getting ready for the meditation. That's why. I'm
Yeah.
not there.
And people like Bill sometimes sign off early.
Mhm.
So, you know, if you have to sign off, we understand.
All right. Well,
Please remind people that it's a different code to get into that session, not the regular WOSE
Oh,
code.
yes, thank you.
Mhm.
so how do we get to that, Bobby? Do you know?
Yes, I do know.
Okay.
When we put it in the chat, or is it too late since we're signing off?
Well, you know, I'll give time. No,
Okay.
you could put it in the chat, and then we'll have that information.
I just had mine. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna type it in. Let me see. Chat.
All right. We I don't know. Are they going to relinquish power? I feel, for some reason, I think I'm changing the subject. I feel like we're in a third world country. You know, where the strong man leader is not going to give up power without a fight. You know, it's just. I mean, after you lose by 5 million, you know.
I think the message would be clear. We don't want you.
Yeah, that's it. And I guess they oh, okay, Bobby put it in. Okay. All right. Let me save that. Okay, Bobby put that in. Thank you, Bobby. And well, I don't want to prolong it. That'll be another class, but hold tight, everybody. You know, stay safe. You know, stay healthy, and looking forward to seeing you. Those that are attend the tree class on Saturday at 10, and then we'll see you on Sunday in the Destruction of Black Civilization and at service. All right, Ankh Ujab Seneb, life, prosperity, and health. Live up.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, and thank you.
Good night.
Thanks, Malik.